For this UA deck update, the unsurprising most important issue is to address the change in the previous meta of Necros, Tellarknights, Cliffort, Burning Abyss to the current meta decks of Cosmos, Burning Abyss, PK Fire, Monarchs, and Pendulums. The most pressing element in this change is deck pacing. In the past, sitting on a perfect ace and or blockbacker could be a very viable strategy, but now that strategy is much shakier due to various new options of removal that don't involve targeting or destruction, as well as these new meta decks having just generally more raw attack power available to them than those past meta decks, especially Monarchs and Cosmos, which every turn can drop something that could attack over blockbacker. Now the deck needs to be quick and powerful, taking advantage of the battle-based effects of both Slugger and Dunker. In my experience, for a successful UA deck in this meta, it is imperative to get Slugger and or Dunker on the field as fast as possible, hopefully backed up by a jersey, instead of getting perfect ace on the field as fast as possible like I enumerated in my previous build. Fortunately, there is little that needs to be changed because both Ace and Slugger are level 5 Earth Warriors. To this end, I removed the one blockbacker and one of my two perfect aces and add one additional Slugger. No additional Dunkers because at level 7 it can produce some summoning inefficiencies and there are more effective ways of getting it on the field if need be. With the need for additional speed, I dropped the two Spell Strikers because getting Midfielder on the field is not as important as it was in the previous meta because it's difficult just to sit on Stadium constantly over the course of 3-4 turns, normal summoning Midfielder, getting your search, bring something else out. The strike and the fast pace of this current meta really screw that up. Closing out the monsters, I now run 3 copies of DD Assailant, which is a very nice tech card for not only is it a level 4 Earth Warrior, so it can be transmodified into Slugger or Ace, it has a decent attack at 1700, and any monster that destroys it is banished. It's great for sidestepping Burning Abyss cards, the Cosmos ships, and getting rid of Monarch. I drop the one Soul Charge because I feel for UAs, attacking is super critical now, and the loss of the battle phase hurts significantly, as well as the additional life points. In the previous build, I was running multiple copies of Perfect Ace as well as Blockbacker, so Soul Charge was important, because you could put a strong defensive board off of it. The loss of the battle phase was somewhat irrelevant, and the strength of the board that you could set up off of it mitigated the additional life point cost that kind of clashed with Signing Deep. But new updated deck build really only has one defensive monster anymore in the one Perfect Ace, thus it limits the value of Soul Charge. Due to the new ban list, 2 copies of Reasoning are removed and replaced by 2 copies of Monarchs Stormforth, which is much more useful in this meta than it was in the previous meta. I still keep the 1 copy of One Day of Peace because a successful stall card. Furthermore, I drop 1 Twin Twister because there's a better option available for that deck spot. Finally, finishing up on the spells, I run 1 copy of Upstart for more deck speed, as the extra 1000 is not a big deal due to the double damage ability of Jersey. Finally, for the traps, due to the more offensive OTK nature of this deck, I drop the 1 Bottomless Trap Hole and the 1 Vanity's Emptiness, while retaining the 3 copies of Penalty Box due to their useful on-field effect as well as its critical searching ability. Due to the focus on non-targeting, I think many people have forgotten how nasty Penalty Box can be against monsters that can be targeted. Finally, closing up the traps, I run 3 copies of Drowning Mirror Force because there are only 15 monsters in this deck, and sometimes you're going to get that bad hand with multiple tributes and no level 4s or searching, and you need to bounce the opponent's forces back to their deck. Drowning is also nice in this deck because unless the opponent has game on board, he or she will be hesitant to Twin Twister any face-down back row due to the threat of it being a penalty box and producing a meaningful positive for you, and for the most part, allowing you to jumpstart your play next turn. Overall, the extra deck doesn't play a large role in UA decks. I don't play Reaper just on principle alone, but for those who like to use an effect like Reaper, this extra deck is definitely available for that strategy. For me, I choose to run 1 Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, 1 number 61 Volcasaurus, 1 Artifact Durendal, 2 number 39S Utopia the Lightning, In order to double up on Lightning's effect, I run 2 copies of number 39S Utopia Prime. Obviously, you need the 2 copies of number 39 Utopia. I run 1 Castel, 1 number 106 Giant Hand, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Gagaga Cowboy, and finally 1 Heroic Champion Gandiva and 1 Heroic Champion Excalibur. In the end, UAs are still a very dangerous deck, but the shift in meta demands, in my opinion, and experience, that UAs become more offensively aggressive rather than kind of grindy defensive. Fortunately, thanks to its speed and its versatility, along with the best equipped spell in the game, Jersey, UAs have the capacity to make that switch effectively. With the increased importance of Jersey, some may argue that this deck should play Hidden Armory, but in my experience with the deck, the loss of the normal summons is too detrimental despite the high-quality special summoning that UAs possess. Well, that's my updated UA deck. Thank you for your attention and your time. I'm out.